It's been about 2 months since my bodybuilding show, and I've kind of let myself go. I'm disgusting. I'm a dirty, dirty boy. So, just like I've done in the past, I think it's time for a little recalibration of my diet. However, instead of the predictable full day of eating video that's been done a million times, I'm doing 3 full days of eating, packed into one video. This video. Starting weight. I haven't weighed myself in like 3 weeks. I'm kind of scared to see what it's going to be, but hopefully by the end of these 3 days, we will have shown improvement. 182.8. The macros I'm shooting for the next 3 days are 1,600 calories, 20 grams of protein, 100 grams of carbs, and like 30 grams of fat, somewhere around there. Which I know what you're thinking, Parker, those macros, way too low. Why are you eating such low calorie? Hey, guess what? I'm 15 pounds heavier than I was a month and a half ago. And there's no shame involved in that. So for breakfast, we're gonna be having some oatmeal this morning. Now my oatmeal consists of a lot of different little accoutrements. We put some creatine in the oatmeal. We put some peanut butter flavored protein powder in the oatmeal. And then we also put some vanilla flavored protein powder in the oatmeal. We also gotta put some sugar-free maple syrup and some cinnamon. So 3, 2, 1, movie magic. All right, now I gotta mix it up. So I gotta be honest with you, it feels kind of weird filming because it's been over a month since I filmed a video. The last video I filmed was my protein snacks for 24 hours. And I did that before I went away for Thanksgiving when I went to Las Vegas for the week of Thanksgiving, which that was an experience, but that's not safe for, I can't tell those stories on YouTube. So yeah, it's been a while. I feel kind of out of practice. I feel like there's some distance between you and me, right? I feel like I need to reconnect with the camera. I need to reconnect with my iPhone. But we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. This is delicious, sort of. That $25 tub of Amazon vanilla flavored protein powder doesn't really mix well. That's probably why it was so cheap, but it's what I got, so. Dude, holy cow, I'm looking back at the footage that I just took of me eating the oatmeal, and I'm just like shocked by how like fat my cheeks are compared to just like 3 videos ago when I was, you know, my bodybuilding prep. My face is like so much skinnier. I look so deformed now. But that's it. We're gonna be going to the gym now. And honestly, that oatmeal is gonna have to last me for a very long time. Because in the past where I would have taken a meal with me to the gym, because I have to work today, right? So I have to sit there for like 4 hours. In the past when I would have like taken a lunch with me there, haven't really been that organized. So I've just been eating breakfast and then just kind of holding on for dear life the rest of the day, which in turn has led to me kind of binging when I get home because I'm like, oh, I haven't eaten in 7 hours. I'm just gonna go crazy now, which is, you know, led to some complications and some problems. But we're not doing that today, because today I got you to hold me accountable. So the main thing that's been really keeping me through the day, cravings wise and just like hunger wise and making me not go insane, is everyone's favorite addictive substance, a little bit of caffeine. So we're gonna be having this Ghost Citrus flavored Drink on my drive to the gym, which is gonna be happening right now. Yeah, we're here. Although I will say the good side of gaining a bunch of weight from eating like garbage, from eating like a trash can, is I have been a lot stronger. I've been a lot stronger. The workouts have been a lot better, but I honestly think I'd rather look really strong or look really good, maybe not look strong, but I'd rather look a lot better leaner, and feel a lot better than look like garbage but be strong as hell. I'm okay with that trade-off, because your mental health really takes a nosedive whenever you wake up every day, and every time you look in the mirror, you're just disgusted with yourself, even with a pump. I mean, with a pump it's marginally better, but for the most part, you're just constantly thinking, wow, I look so much worse than I did a few months ago when I was like really lean and really sexy. Also, thank you for like the crazy growth we've experienced in the last like month. My last two videos, we had the 10,000 calorie challenge absolutely go bonkers, dummy nutso viral, 30,000 views. That's unheard of for me. And then my next video after that, the last video I posted, coming up on 8,000 views. It's crazy. I feel so blessed. And then this video is probably gonna go stupid viral also. So it's like we're on a roll. However, in order for this video to go off the charts, we gotta keep the full day of eating theme continuing. And since I'm not eating anything for the foreseeable future until after I leave this gym, I think it's only fitting if we just abruptly cut to the kitchen. Work was great. Work was fine. I got some really important stuff done while I was there. But now it's time to eat again. First up, little appetizer, Greek yogurt, my favorite. We're gonna have 250 grams of it, along with 20 grams of the Raisin Bran. This is just an appetizer. An appetizer before my main course. Which actually, that's never really made sense to me. The concept of an appetizer. Like, what's really the point? I mean, I think it's really just kind of a label to put on something that's not quite a full meal, but they wanna like encourage you to buy it. So they try to convince you that it like lubricates your appetite. I don't think that's a real thing. That's always seems so weird to me. Like, why would eating food make my main course more appetizing? You know? I feel like buying appetizers kind of almost discourages me from wanting to get a main course, because I'm like, well, wait, I'm not hungry anymore. I just had all these appetizers. I mean, I'm not talking about when I say me, like I don't mean actually me, because that would never happen, because I'm literally always hungry. Like there is never a situation where I couldn't eat more. I'm talking about the hypothetical me, the hypothetical you, I, the average guy, you know. 4.8 inches. All right, done with that. Next, we're gonna be making some chicken quesadillas with the chicken that I bought yesterday. I cooked it last night, had a great time cooking it. And so we're gonna be using some tortillas that I have, some little mini corn tortillas, and that 2% low moisture part skim mozzarella cheese that I also bought at the grocery store yesterday. I got a lot of chicken here. I vlogged eating more chicken for this meal than I know is going to fit in the 4 tortillas, but that's okay. We're just gonna have some chicken quesadillas with chicken on the side. First things first, we gotta melt the cheese onto these tortillas. So I got the cheese here on the scale, and I'm just going to be measuring the negative. Then while that's melting, I'm gonna come over here, grab my chicken, measure out 250 grams, and heat it up separately just in the microwave. Chicken, warm. Then we come back to the tortillas with the melted cheese and add as much chicken as I possibly can. A little bit of chicken left over, that's okay. So there we have it. Little chicken quesadillas with some chicken on the side. I'm gonna put a little bit of salsa on here. Although before I do that, I'm gonna take this white sweatshirt off, because that is just a disaster waiting to happen. All right. Avoided a disaster there. You know, it's interesting to me that some people don't like salsa. Salsa is kind of good on everything. And I was thinking about this the other day, how tomatoes are such like a versatile thing. Like they're in almost every cuisine in the world, but they're utilized in a completely different way, to a point where it's almost like an entirely new thing. Like you think of ketchup for America, you think of marinara sauce, tomato sauce, pizza sauce, Italy. I think of salsa, as tomatoes. What else? I'm sure other cuisines include them. Last bite. Can never go wrong with that. That's one of my go-to, I would say, fancier meals. Fancy in the sense where it actually takes some coordination rather than just eating plain old chicken breast. Although I gotta say, that chicken was dry as hell. I definitely cooked that too long yesterday. Last thing on the menu for today is gonna be a smoothie. I've made this before, it's pretty standard stuff. Just some almond milk, some frozen berries, and some protein powder. In this case, I got the strawberry banana Gorilla Mode protein. I ordered this a while ago. It's kind of been rotting in my cupboard, so I might as well start using it. I'm gonna put like 3 scoops in here just because I want it extra thick. Thick and pink, baby. Normally I'd put ice in here, but I don't have any ice, so. Now I know today's diet has been very protein powder focused, and that's not gonna be the case for the next 2 days, but occasionally this happens during the week when I kind of wanna ration my more premium protein sources, such as meat and eggs and stuff like that. And so I just kind of go crazy on the protein supplements, which is okay. Just not something I'd recommend doing every single day. I wouldn't recommend getting the entirety of your protein from protein powders because 1, your stomach's gonna hurt a lot, and 2, it's not necessarily as satiating or tasty as some of these meats. Some of these meats or other animal products I'm about to whip up for you over the next 2 days. So I'm gonna slam this, and then I see you tomorrow morning. Unless you wanna keep talking. I mean, I can talk all day. I can talk all night. I can go all day when it comes to moving my chin. I can go all... Good morning, my little slime balls. It's day 2, which means we're gonna weigh again. Oh yeah, 181.8. That is 1 whole pound, ladies and gentlemen. 1 whole pound in 24 hours. We keep this pace up come summertime, I'ma be nothing but dust. Literally, because I'll be 100. For breakfast this morning, we're gonna be having a egg, spinach, and cheese little omelet scramble. I also think I might throw a little bit of chicken in there in some tortillas to make little breakfast tacos. All right, well, it's kind of a weird combination of ingredients, and then to make it even weirder, I'm gonna be adding some barbecue sauce to it. But trust me, it is a great time. All right, look at that. This is a protein party right here in this tortilla. Now putting cheese in my eggs is definitely a new thing for me. I used to hate that. I used to think that was so nasty. But recently, with this combination, I've kind of been, dare I say, liking it. Which I know might sound crazy because I think cheese and eggs is one of those tag teams that pretty well received around the world, but never really sat right with me until I started making this combination of ingredients, and then they work. All done. That was a lot of food. Whew. All right, a few hours have gone by, and now it's time to have a little snack before I go to the gym, work at the gym, you know, clock in, clock out, that kind of stuff. I'm gonna pre-make some meals to have while I'm at the gym because unlike yesterday, I am gonna eat while I'm there because yesterday, going 7 hours without eating was not ideal. So I'm gonna have a quick snack here, have some Greek yogurt and some cereal, and then I'm gonna start doing a little bit of meal prep. You know, something that's become very apparent to me in the last month or so is how easily it is to fall into bad habits with food when you're not actively working towards some kind of goal or some kind of goal, I guess is the only word I can think of. Like, I was only on a 6-week strict bodybuilding prep diet, but you know, those 6 weeks gave me so much stability, so much structure that it made the food part of life so much easier. And the amount of internal shame that I give myself, or not even shame, but just like, it's just like guilt, unnecessary guilt that I put on myself whenever I would have something that is unhealthy, like a dessert or anything like that. Like, that weighs on you. And then you just get put into like a vicious cycle of, oh my God, I'm so sad I cheated on my diet yesterday. Well, what am I gonna do to make myself happy? I'm gonna have a donut. I'm gonna have an extra serving of pasta or something, you know? It can really be anything. It doesn't even have to be exclusively like a junk food. It could just be an excess of food, which is primarily my fault. Like, I mean, that's like my main thing. I'm not going out of my way to get like ice cream or donuts, or brownies. Like, if it's in front of me, I'm probably gonna eat it. So that's step number one. Don't put it in front of me. Actually, you know what it really is? It's really just a desire to have a full stomach. It's a desire to feel full, which when you think about it, isn't even really a pleasant feeling. It's a very uncomfortable feeling. But that feeling of being completely satiated, it's a feeling that I don't get very often, or I don't allow myself to get very often. Except for every now and then, when I flip the switch and I say, Parker, we're not stopping until you feel sick. And I'm saying it right now, I have a binge eating disorder. I really do. I really do. But who doesn't, right? Maybe? I hope so. Especially with all this GMO garbage processed food that's like specifically engineered in a way to make you addicted to it with all this sugar. I mean, we're really fighting uphill all the time to not get fat. It's very difficult to go against every product label, advertisement. Everything is telling you, eat me, I'm tasty, yum, yum, yum. When you just gotta like internalize and be like, sorry pal, I don't wanna hate the way I look. But that's the thing, when you hate the way you look, right, when you have a long period of time of letting the cravings and the advertisements win, which I just recognize is kind of ironic because I am an advertising major. I'm a graphic design and advertising major in college. When you let them win, and then next thing you know, you wake up one day and you're 50 pounds overweight, you're 25% body fat, and you're disgusted with the way you look. Your face is all fat and puffy, and any muscle that you might have underneath is completely blubbified. You know, there's just a layer of thick blubber over it, so you can't even see any muscle, which I recognize is not me. Like, I know I don't have an unhealthy build. Like, I'm not disgusting looking, but give me a couple more months and I could prove you wrong. But when you get to that point, the only thing that you can think of that will bring you any sense of not feeling so much shame and so much disgust and so much sadness about the way you look is just eating more of the thing that made you look that way in the first place. Because assuming you're like the majority of people on planet Earth, life kind of sucks. It does. I mean, unless you have some kind of relationship, like if you have a family, or if you have a really good social life, the only things that are gonna bring you any kind of like dopamine, it's gonna be all the things that are just gonna make you feel like garbage. You know, scrolling on your phone, unhealthy food, alcohol, drugs, caffeine, you know, all those things. They don't really make you happy. They only make you happy for about 35 seconds. That actually reminds me of a funny video I saw the other day, which was like, the caption was, how life feels for 5 minutes after drinking a caffeinated beverage. And it's just like the most serene, like angelic scene of someone walking through the forest, and it's just like pure bliss and heaven on earth and nirvana. But it was just funny because it's like, That's what life feels like for the first 5 minutes after drinking a caffeinated beverage, and then it goes away and you just think, okay, now when am I gonna have my next one? And that applies to anything, not just caffeinated beverages. That applies to sugar, that applies to ice cream, that applies to alcohol if you're an alcoholic. Or we can go even crazier. We can start talking about drugs. And if we start talking about drugs, hold me back, because I'm gonna get antsy. I'm gonna say, hey bro, you got some? All right, so now what's gonna happen is, now I'm gonna start making my lunch and dinner, or it's kind of just like one meal, but I'm gonna split it up into 2 separate meals. But those 2 meals I'm gonna be taking with me to the office here in a little bit. But I gotta make them first. And what I'm going to be making is something that I decided to get a little bit creative with. The other night when I went to the grocery store, that night when I got home, I pre-marinated and kind of prepared a bunch of barbecue chicken. I basically just cut up some raw chicken, put it in a bag, put some barbecue sauce in there, some spices, and it's been sitting in the fridge for about 2 days now, or not even 2 days, maybe 36 hours. And now I'm gonna cook that barbecue chicken, and I'm gonna pair it with a little bit of that sweet potato that I also bought the other night at the grocery store. So we're gonna fire up the air fryer, cook up that chicken, cook up that potato, package it in some containers to take with me on the go, and then we're going to go to the gym. Sound like a plan? All right, I hope so, because that's what's happening and you don't have a choice. All right, here is the bag of fun, the bag that I prepared the other night. And then here is the sweet potato that I'm going to be preparing as well. Now, I recently learned that you can just cook a sweet potato or any kind of potato. You can just put it in the microwave for like 5 minutes and it will cook it. Did you know that? Like, there's no peeling, no trimming, no washing, any of that required. You literally just, there's a potato button. There's a potato button on the microwave. Did you know that? I recently learned this. I feel like this is big news. I feel like we should call Joe Rogan or something. All right, potato time. Woo! We're gonna cut it in half. And boom. I'm gonna scoop out all of the actual potato. I'm not gonna be eating the skin because the skin is kind of nasty. It's got like dirt on it and stuff, but all this good stuff on the inside, perfectly cooked and ready to eat. If you're lucky, the skin just peels off, which is actually something I didn't know that could happen. Hot! Ha! It's so hot. Oh! But there she is. It's right there. I'm gonna peel that one into this container, and then yeah. I've been loving the sweet potato lately because one, it's a lot quicker to cook than rice, and plus they're cheap. It's like, you know, it's like 80 cents for this thing. Lately, I've been trying to do more stuff in the machines. The machines have been feeling a lot better for me lately than just free weights. I don't know what it is. Being able to just like actually go to failure and just get those forced partials, you know, at the end of every set. Also, I got some exciting news to share. About 10 minutes ago, somebody just offered to give me a body scan, or basically gave me the opportunity to give myself a body scan. So I think I'm actually gonna do that tomorrow, which is kind of exciting. And then we can use that as like a baseline. I've never gotten any kind of body scan in my life before, but maybe whether the news is good or bad, it would give me a little jolt of motivation, give me a little extra drive because I'm not expecting it to be a positive body scan. But you never know, right? It could be, maybe I get pleasantly surprised. I think Stairmaster is the superior form of cardio. I was doing incline treadmill for a little bit, like last month or so. I have still been doing cardio, but I've been doing it on the incline treadmill, and it just isn't difficult. No matter how like fast I go on there, I don't get near the heart rate increase that I do when I'm on the Stairmaster. But since we are on the Stairmaster, you know what we're doing. We get the Pokemon going, you know. Some things never change. Just like me when I'm the toxic one in a relationship. Like, I'm not gonna do like an hour like I was doing during bodybuilding prep on this thing. I'm only gonna do about 25 to 30 minutes, but even that gets me amped. Just trying to get a little bit of sweat. If I can just get a little bit of sweat going each day, I feel accomplished.
After cardio, I did some housekeeping before diving into the first of the 2 barbecue chicken and sweet potato meals. I'm honestly surprised at how delicious the chicken was, considering I've never done any kind of like marination before, so definitely something I'm gonna do again in the future. In fact, it was so good, I decided to have the second meal immediately after finishing the first, which is not a great example of proper meal spacing throughout the day, but when boredom and hunger collide, rules get broken. Here's me giving you my thoughts on the food. Looks like I really liked it. Full belly. Hooray. Yeah, no, I'm definitely still hungry. But that's okay. I'm not mad. Okay, so I'm about to leave, about to clock out, about to go home. And I was planning on making myself a protein like shake smoothie when I got home. But honestly, I'd rather just have it now. So at this gym, we do sell protein shakes. So I'm just gonna grab one of those right before I leave here. Last one. So with that, today is over, or all my eating for the day is over. So I guess I'll see you tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to day 3. I'm getting kind of comfortable now. I'm getting kind of in a groove of just constantly filming everything I eat. I just ate my breakfast and it was a good one. It was a really, really good breakfast. The other day at the grocery store, I bought me some steaks, and this morning I decided to have a little bit of steak and egg combination. So I fired up the air fryer and I put the steak, I believe it's a center cut, boneless, sirloin, something. Put it in the air fryer for 6 minutes, not a very long time. And then I took it out of the air fryer and immediately onto a screaming hot pan to do a little searing on both sides of it. And then I let it sit for like 5 to 10 minutes. Let those juices coagulate. Let the internal temperature, you know, stabilize. And then I also whipped up a little egg and egg whites and spinach, little egg scramble there. Had a little steak and eggs. And it was phenomenal. And then I also made myself a quick protein smoothie. Quick protein powder, half a banana in there, some almond milk, and it was delicious as well. So now we're on our way to the gym. I have the other piece of steak, because I only had half of that steak. I have the other half with some sweet potato that I just also whipped up in this container here. We're gonna eat that while we're at work at some point later on. Yeah, let's go to the gym. Okay, maybe steak is not the best pre-workout meal. My body's working hard right now to digest that steak. It's not really focused on getting a good back pump. It's only the third time I've had steak this year. Like this steak trend that I'm on, little steak kick. It started last week, so
Haven't worked out the kinks yet. Probably won't be having it as a pre-workout meal anytime soon again, but I'm having to kind of condense this workout a little bit. I got here a little later than I would have liked, so I mean, I guess theoretically I could push the workout towards like into my actual like shift time. Like it could overflow a little bit, but that would feel weird to be like working out while technically on the clock. We're gonna be doing the body scan today. I'm honestly very scared. I'm nervous it's gonna tell me I'm like 20% body fat and then I'm gonna have a panic attack or something. Honestly, I really wanna do it just to get the body measurements for like clothing purposes. Cause it's gonna give me like the measurement of my chest, arms, legs, like everything like that. So if I ever need to go to a tailor or if I'm ever ordering clothes online and they give you like the actual measurements of the garment, knowing my own, it's gonna be pretty helpful. Done. Scan is complete. It's processing right now. Didn't take very long, like I didn't think it would. You already know this is about to be like the worst news of the year. If I'm under 15% body fat, then I'm pleased with that. I don't think I will be though. Look at this dude. Damn, he thick. Oh, this is gonna be bad, bro. What? No shot. Body fat percentage, 10.3%. It says I'm 186 pounds, which is interesting because this morning when I weighed in, I was 181, which means just from like drinking water and my meals and everything, I gained like 5 pounds. Left bicep 14.8 inches. Right bicep 14 inches. Why is my left one so much bigger? Wait a second. That doesn't make sense. Am I ambidextrous in my sleep? Alright, there's a lot of measurements on here. I'm gonna go through this. I'm gonna look through it when I'm not on the clock. I gotta start working now, so.
I immediately busted out my steak and sweet potato as a way of rewarding myself for such a positive body scan. The steak was perfectly cooked to my standards, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Then, a little bit later, I drove home.
Okay, so we are back at the crib now, and sadly I only have about 200 calories left to eat, or that I'm allowed to eat for the day, because apparently steak is not very low calorie. I'm just gonna whip up a quick bowl of little Greek yogurt and cereal. I'm not even gonna weigh it. That's how freaking nonchalant I am, you know? I'm just a chill guy. But you know, I do gotta say, I am still kind of I'm still kind of reeling from my body scan. Learned a whole lot about myself. And it seems pretty accurate. There's a little bit of inflation, I think, happening in some areas, but for the most part, the rendering looks solid to me, and the numbers it's giving me also check out. I'm curious to know what kind of calculus it's doing to figure out, you know, some of the metrics like the BMR and the BMI. But my BMR being at about 1,900, I think it said 1,965 calories a day, that feels correct to me. Because any other like online calculator where it's supposed to calculate your BMR, your maintenance calories essentially, they all say that I'm supposed to be eating 3,000 calories a day. And that's just not the case. So 10% body fat, hey, if we want to go off that, that's fine with me. Whether it's right or wrong, at least it's a baseline. So maybe at some point I can get another scan, maybe in 3 or 4 months, maybe hopefully right before I go on spring break, when I should be, assuming I maintain this diet that we've showcased over the last 72 hours, assuming I stick to this diet, I'll, get back on that thing and I'll be like 4% body fat. Might break the machine, goddamn. I did really good about getting my 200 grams of protein each of these 3 days. That's the new standard for me. If I'm not hitting 200 grams of protein, one, I'm not gonna feel satiated at all, which is already impossible for me basically, but especially if I'm not eating enough protein, I'm just gonna wanna eat carbs all day and I'm never gonna feel full. So 200 grams of protein, that's the standard. I think making this video comprise of 3 days rather than just one also kind of proved to myself a theory that I have, which is dieting is not hard. It's not hard for the majority of a diet. However, all of the difficulty of starting a diet or doing a diet in the first place, I feel like is front loaded to the first 72 hours of the diet, I have to say. The first day of a new diet sucks. The second day is even harder because it takes a long time for you to break the habits of what you've been doing previously. But the third day is just the same as you did the last 2 days. So now that I've done this for 3 days, because keep in mind, before starting to film this video, meal plan non-existent. I was just eating willy-nilly. Yes, I was eating a lot of protein. I was eating clean-ish. I mean, I was having hot fudge sundaes every now and then, but there was no limit to it. There was no limit to the amount of steak I was gonna have. There was no limit to the amount of potatoes I was gonna eat in a day. There was no limit to the amount of Greek yogurt or cereal I was gonna allow myself. But now, after establishing what it feels like, again, because you have to keep doing it over and over again, no matter how many diets you've been on in your life, no matter how many meal plans you've been on in your life, human beings are very fickle creatures. They're very fickle, and they're very volatile. And they're very adaptive also in getting accustomed to things. So after not being disciplined at all with my diet for basically 6 weeks, I feel like 72 hours is the perfect amount of time to get yourself back on track, because now tomorrow I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna do the same thing I did yesterday, and the day before that, and the day before that, and I'm excited. I feel so much better. I can already feel the cheeks deflating. I can already feel the face fat disintegrating. I'm gonna get that chiseled jawline once again so I can look nice and pretty for you. And yeah, I don't know what else to say. I think I've said it all. I probably haven't, but I also probably have, because I talk a whole lot. If you're still watching at this point, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. I don't know what it's gonna be. I'm running out of ideas. But I'm having a great time figuring them out along the way, so.
3-4 days of eating and I'm feeling really healthy. Tell me what you thought about